Manuel Marquez. And later that same night, we bring you Roy Jones Jr. outside the ring, inside the fighter. A behind-the-scenes look at Roy as he prepared to fight John Ruiz last March. A look at the big spill up at Niagara, about 45 minutes drive from here. Many members of our crew making the pilgrimage up there. Coming up next, the second of our 3 heavyweight fights tonight on Boxing After Dark. Nigerian former Olympic bronze medalist Duncan Dokiwari against American former amateur star Dominick Guinn. And let's look at the tail of the tape now between Dokiwari and Guinn. Dokiwari is the biggest of the heavyweights you'll see here tonight. That listed height of 6'5". Seems maybe a bit exaggerated to us. We're not certain he looks that tall. Larry in particular differing with that one. Guinn at 6'2½", giving up 2.5 inches. Arm length measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. We're seeing week by week that height is never a predictor or a necessary predictor of who's going to have the longer arm length. Weight, and you've got an 18¼ pound advantage for Dokiwari. Judges scoring criteria with our unofficial ringside guru, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Jim, it's New York State rules again, 10 rounds. The 4 criteria that the judges are going to use to score this fight: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, Harold, and now here comes American Dominick Guinn from Hot Springs, Arkansas. You may have seen him in his last appearance here on June 7th, a 7th round TKO of Michael Grant in Atlantic City. Grant was so helpless in the fight that Gwynn's trainer, Ronnie Shields, went virtually nuts in the corner between the 6th and 7th rounds, pulling in Emmanuel Stewart saying, "Damn it, get him out of there. I'm tired of watching this."
Well, he looked across the ring and saw Emmanuel doing that when Lewis fought Tyson, and he was in Tyson's corner.
The Southern Disaster is what
Dominick
Guinn
has
calls them.
2 really good boxing trainers in his corner, too, between Mark Breland and Ronnie Shields. 2 is also 2 of our greatest really amateur boxers in the history of amateur boxing, in addition to Mark being a 2-time world professional champion.
And let's take a closer look at Dominick Guinn with Larry Merchant.
Dominick Guinn comes from Hot Springs, Arkansas, where he went to the same high school as Bill Clinton, and he was a hot walker at the racetrack there, getting $5 a walk as he slipped over the fence to do it in his teenage years. He's had over 300 amateur fights, a large number for a heavyweight, but it also speaks to his natural caution that it took him that long to turn professional. As he puts it, it's a good time to be a young heavyweight because some of the older guys are being shouldered aside. Do any of these younger guys have the stuff to help them out of the way?
Well, young is a relative concept, somewhat defined here by the fact that Lennox Lewis is 38. At 28, Guinn is the youngest of the 6 heavyweights here.
Right.
That's what we should call this, a night of the new heavyweights, not the young heavyweights.
The new wave. Here's Duncan Dokiwari, who is a former Nigerian Olympic bronze medalist, one of several heavyweight prospects to have emerged from that nation in recent years. And you can see that the theme of the fight is Bill's jerseys, because Guinn and both of his cornermen, Mark Breland and Ronnie Shields, are wearing Drew Bledsoe jerseys. So it looks like Dokiwari has gone to the Eric Moulds look. Now, does that tell us, but he's got it marked with Dokiwari.
Number 85.
I guess that tells us that Guinn is going to be throwing the passes and Dokiwari is going to be receiving them.
Oh, my God.
Not necessarily the mindset a fighter would want, but here's a closer look at Duncan Dokiwari with Larry Merchant.
He comes from a middle to upper middle class family in Nigeria. His father was a colonel in the military. His mom is an international clothing trader. He did win a bronze in '96 when Vladimir Klitschko won the gold in Atlanta. And Dokiwari is the latest in the line of heavyweights coming out of Nigeria. There's a youngster named Samuel Peter who won a knockout in a grotesque mismatch on the undercard tonight. There was Henry Akinwande, who famously was disqualified in a fight against Lennox Lewis. Ike Abeabuchi, who had tremendous talent but deep emotional problems. Dokiwari tells us he fought Abeabuchi 4 times as an amateur and beat him twice. And then there was the redoubtable David Izon, a solid guy who just didn't have the talent of the others.
A look at Duncan Dokiwari. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from DeBella Entertainment and Tony Holden Productions, in association with Main Events and your King of Beers Budweiser, the heavyweight action continues. This contest also scheduled for 10 rounds. If it goes to the scorecards, the 3 judges are Don Ackerman, John McKay, and Steve Weisfeld. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Jim Santa. 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red with black and officially weighing 218½ pounds. He has a perfect professional record, 22 bouts, 22 victories with 17 knockouts. From Hot Springs, Arkansas, the undefeated Dominick, the Southern Disaster Guinn. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gray, and his official weight stands at 236¾ pounds. An outstanding professional record of 22 victories, including 19 knockouts with only 1 defeat. Originally from Nigeria, but now living and fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, here is Duncan Dokiwari.
Good evening, gentlemen. We went over the rules in the locker room. Let's touch gloves and have a good, clean fight. Go ahead. Let's go.
Dokiwari has such a magnificent body that if he fails at boxing, he can always run for governor of California. And he tells us he's never lifted any weights.
You're comparing him to Arianna Huffington?
Precisely. You know, Emmanuel, he has a rather heavy beard.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they have not complained about that here, too. This will be a very interesting fight. They have Guinn as a big favorite on the experts, and I think a lot of that is because nobody, for the most part, has saw Dokiwari fight except real true boxing people.
Well, Dokiwari came to this country and then suffered a 2.5-year layoff between 1999 and 2002 as the result of his dispute with his promoter at that time. Finally came out of the shadows, trained by former Eddie Futch protege Fel Torrance. So Dokiwari may be better than most people give him credit for. His only loss, incidentally, was to Frezo Kendo, whom you saw last week, quote, losing, unquote, to Chris Bird.
Yes.
In a 6-rounder.
See, Guinn has had this very impressive fight, which so many people saw with Michael Grant, so therefore he's automatically a big, big favorite.
And this fight is at a much harder pace than we could have anticipated because both fighters have reputations for being passive.
They traded some good shots early.
He's a sharp, accurate puncher. These guys are punching with much more accuracy and speed and power than the previous fight.
Yeah, it looks more like a heavyweight fight, doesn't it?
It's a heavyweight fight, yeah.
Now, Dominick Guinn appears to me, Emmanuel, to have muscled up a little bit to get ready for Duncan Dokiwari.
You're probably being aware of the fact he's fighting a big guy. He probably muscled up a lot. But what's interesting in this fight, though, both of these guys have tremendous amateur backgrounds once again.
Larry mentioned Dokiwari's bronze medal at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. He lost a 1-point decision in the semifinal to Peo Wolfgram. And had that gone the other way, as Dokiwari, of course, thought it should have, he would have been fighting Vladimir Klitschko in the Olympic final. There's a right hand across the top by Dokiwari. Didn't get it there to do damage.
Guinn's got a very good short left hook to it. He'll start jabbing, and halfway through the jab, he'll change it into a short left hook.
Which he can turn to the body or the head as well.
Yes. Good speed and power for big guys at the pace that they're going.
The trainers have both been urging the fighters to be more aggressive, throw more punches, and the fighters are trying this early on.
Dokiwari caught Guinn with a left hook coming in. Guinn momentarily startled.
And he just caught him with a right hand prior to that, and another grazing right hand again.
He had missed all of the previous right hands, but after landing that left hook and slightly buzzing Guinn, he was able to get in a right.
No punches, let's go. Step back, fellas. Step back. No, let go. Stop. Let's go. Let's go.
One question is, how long can Dokiwari do this with a body like that?
Yeah, and that's what Guinn said. He was hoping to take him in about 4 rounds and then to try to tire him out and then try to come back and outbox him.
Guinn may have to survive some big shots to make it to that 4th or 5th round. Dokiwari has come to throw leather tonight.
A good round.
Okay. Mouthpiece. Rinse it. All right, now listen. Take your time. Don't rush. Keep that hand up. Remember, you know where that hand's supposed to be when you jab it. When you jab a hand, put your hand right in front of your face when you jab. Okay? All right. Stay loose, Duncan. Cut him off. Don't follow this guy around. Don't get hurt. Just work behind the jab.
Close your eyes and listen.
Find that spot and just bust him up. And shoot it.
You can't take him to the body. But you got to get down there. You got to get there, okay? Let's back him up with that jab first, okay?
You got to keep backing him up. You got to keep backing him up. You moving back. Don't move back. Move forward.
Start fainting at him sometime, and then when he throw that right hand, just jump right on top of him.
Second solid.
All right?
Let's go.
Come on, baby. That was a good round, okay?
You could say that both fighters have good beards.
Yep, I didn't notice that the one Guinn had too. It's just not as noticeable.
Well, whoever wins the bout is likely to have a good beard because they are going to try to test each other's chins. Dokiwari's just a little slow with that right hand.
Yeah, but he's getting closer and closer to the target of each one.
Guinn lands a right hand lead of his own. Guinn may be a tiny bit outpowered early.
Yeah, but he expected that.
So he wants to be conscious of getting to the body every once in a while. Yeah. Try to take some of Dokiwari's starch away. Counter right landed for Dokiwari.
Yeah, he's shooting that right hand very freely. Seems like he doesn't have any fear of getting countered on anything. The fact that he hasn't been hit while he was throwing the punch is why he's shooting it so much. If Guinn would counter with something, it may make him hesitate and think about throwing it. But at this stage, Guinn is not returning anything.
Dokiwari is throwing a lot of looping punches. If Guinn is brave enough to step up and fire straight shots inside, he'll land them.
I think he's going to have to do something to get some respect because Dokiwari is doing too many punches, and a guy that's a big, powerful guy shooting that much, just playing the numbers game, sooner or later.
There you go. Step up inside and throw straight punches, you'll land them. Just like that. But it takes nerve because you're walking in against a bigger puncher.
He's a dangerous man to come in, but he's going to have to do something. You can't let him keep shooting punches that freely.
There's the Guinn quickness.
Yep.
Let go, fellas. Let's go, let go.
Has the capacity to get off before Dokiwari.
And usually going in the late rounds, the overly muscle guys usually start tiring and become a little slower. Good right hand.
Good right hand.
Yep. Yes.
And
he hurt Dokiwari big time with that right hand. Guinn with a perfect shot.
And Dokiwari did the right thing. He stayed in close and smothered him.
And another one by Guinn. Landing right hand leads now. First one was a perfect counter, then the right hand lead landed too. Now Dokiwari gets in a right hand, and Guinn is going to back up and be conscious of that again.
Yes, this is a tough fight for both of these guys.
Now this is what we came to see.
This is a seesaw battle within the rounds. Each fighter has his moments. Trying to throw that right hand right through Guinn's guard. And following up with some body pounding, Duncan Dokiwari.
Big guy, about 240 pounds, throwing right hands like that. Even though they may be defective,
there's blood from somebody's eye. It's Dokiwari.
It's Dokiwari's left eye.
Bad cut.
Bad cut. And that could have come from one of Guinn's terrific right hands.
And it might have been a headbutt as well, Jim.
Could conceivably be. Dokiwari, another fighter who told us he's never been cut before.
Come on in, got a cut. Right hand. Got a cut, yeah. Got a cut.
Well, they have a very good cut man in the corner over there, and Jim Strickland, one of the top cut men in boxing.
Yeah. Okay. Come on in, Strick. Yeah.
Where am I?
Okay, I got it.
Come on, Duncan. It's your world, Duncan.
And there's Jimmy Strickland going to work now on Duncan Dokiwari. Couldn't see him for a second.
Hey, Duncan, you got to listen. It's easy work. You just can't get excited, okay? Duncan.
Jimmy's right up there with Al Gavin and Joe Souza among the very top people.
You don't want to let him tie up in the inside.
What's he putting in his eye?
You want to push him with that jab.
He's putting some type of a legal coagulant. You can't tell. There's about 2 or 3 of them. It could have been.
That was that first right-hand shot that hurt Dokiwari, and there's where Dokiwari smothered him and held on.
Now there was a collision, and it did, and
that would have been an accidental butt if that's what caused it. Larry Merchant has taken his headset off to try to find out what the ruling was. Referee Jimmy Santa in the ring, former University of Maryland football player, played on the same Terrapin team with Randy White.
Santa did not indicate that he thought that was a butt, so we have to assume that he believed it was by a legitimate punch, and that's how it will be counted.
Well, certainly Guinn landed sharp right hands that could have done it. Now Dokiwari lands a right hand and backs Guinn into a corner. Now our truck is telling us that it's unquestionable that the headbutt caused the cut. So this increases the urgency slightly for Dokiwari.
He's been fighting with pretty good intensity for the whole fight for the most part. Cut is worse than it's gotten, and if they don't stop it right away, it could be a big factor in this fight.
It would be a feather in Guinn's cap if he could knock out another considerably larger man, as he did against Grant.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, I think if they go to the scorecards, it goes who's ahead. If it stops before 4 rounds, Duncan Warren may still have a chance to win it on a technical decision.
I'm impressed by Guinn. He seems to have gotten a lot of confidence since that victory over Grant, which informed him that he is a serious heavyweight, and he's fighting like one tonight.
Even though Grant fought so poorly that it was almost a gimme?
For him, it was a big deal. He had to have that experience before he believed in himself.
Hard right hand by Dokiwari. Guinn is buzzed by that. Dokiwari may not have realized at first how badly he hurt Guinn.
That was the first one. He shot a straight right hand. It looked like he jabbed to the body, or looked at the body, shot a straight one instead of shooting the club in right hand that he's been throwing earlier.
Now Guinn's okay as he establishes with a hard jab. Yeah. Dokiwari comes back and rips him with a left hook. Misses with the right, and Guinn lands his own left.
Guinn is fighting a very composed fight for a young guy at this stage right here.
Well, I think that's his biggest strength. He's an extremely calm fighter.
Yes. Very economical with his punches, but they're precision punches when they do deliver.
Dokiwari releasing his hands to the body. Rips Guinn with another inside left hook. Right away when the round ends, we're going to get another look at the headbutt, which our truck says unquestionably caused Dokiwari's cut next to the left eye right there. This took place 2 rounds ago in the 2nd round, and boom.
That's a bad head collision.
Crack.
But you know, when you put a coagulant to stop a cut, Jim Strickland did something that was very good. He put the coagulant on, but he didn't put Vaseline over top of it. Because when he has to go back into this round, he's got to put some more on it. And if he has Vaseline in it, he wouldn't be able to get a second coating to go through. So it usually takes 2 to 3 rounds sometimes to really stop a cut properly.
You box this guy, okay? Boxing, take a round, just box it with your hand right up in front of your face, okay?
Part of it is just where and how to apply the pressure.
Pressure is very important. It's a bad cut.
Okay for now.
Okay.
Duncan Worry's cornerman telling him to fight this round with his hands high to protect that cut.
Talked about how efficient Dominick Guinn is. CompuBox numbers through round 3 show Dokiwari throwing twice as many punches as Guinn. They've landed about the same number. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Chip. 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Duncan Dokiwari. I thought he landed enough big right hands in rounds 1 and 3 to win those rounds. Dominick Guinn hurt him in the second. Now let's put this cut thing into perspective. Referee Jim Santa, the only one allowed to make a call on this, said it was caused by a punch. If this fight gets stopped any time because of that cut, Dominick Guinn wins on a TKO. It does not go to the scorecards.
Speaking of which, I have Guinn ahead 2 rounds to 1.
Speaking of which, it's not that easy a fight to score.
Tough fight to score.
Well, the one thing we know who's the busier fighter, that's been Dokiwari at this stage.
Well, perhaps aware that he's not built to go the distance in the same way that Guinn is, Dokiwari probably felt a sense of urgency about getting some damage applied in the first few rounds.
Yes.
Okay. Rub it, don't rub it.
Well, he probably figured, too, that his size and strength would have been something that he could came out and just overpowered. Guinn has surprised a lot of people the way he's taken some pretty good right hands, too.
The upshot is that if either fighter is going to have something extra in the gas tank for the late rounds, it should be Dominick Guinn.
Yeah, he's fighting a much more conservative fight, and there's the scoring discrepancy between Larry and Harold lets you know that the fight is still up in the air, even though Guinn has not even thrown that many punches.
Dokiwari pounded Guinn twice on the belt. Santa was talking to Dokiwari about it, but made no motion regarding the 2 borderline low blows. Guinn lands a right hand upstairs.
Box fellas, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go.
Perhaps trying to target the eye a little bit with the right hand.
No punches. Go back. Watch out, watch out. Time, time, time. Here, let's take a look. It's okay?
Jimmy Santa wants a state commission doctor to take another look at Duncan Dokiwari's eyes.
Not affecting his vision. Go take a look at it, okay? Time in.
You heard the referee say it's not affecting his vision. That is the criteria for a cut.
But, you know, it's got to be a serious concern for his corner, Theo Torrance and those guys, because the fact that it's a very bad cut, and if the referee didn't rule that it was an accidental, but if they do have to stop it at any point in time, it's going to be a knockout victory for Guinn.
Good 1-2 by Guinn there. Guinn bull rushing Dokiwari to shorten his shots and limit the damage that the big man can do. Wednesday night at 8 p.m. catch legendary nights, the tale of Holmes Cooney. This 1982 heavyweight championship fight was one of the most anticipated showdowns of all time for reasons both in and out of the ring. And in many ways, the fight did live up to its hype. See it Wednesday, October 1 at 8 p.m. on HBO.
All right, Duncan, now listen. I want you to keep this round, keep that right hand right up in front of, keep that right hand up high, okay? Behind you, keep the behind your jab, just work the jab and just pace yourself, okay? Just pace yourself. Oh, yeah, just keep moving. Don't worry about the cut. Pace yourself with jab. And every time you...
Where's that now? Okay? Hands high. Get on top of this guy now. I'm telling you, the guy got nothing for you now. You can hurt this guy. Keep shoot the jab.
Seconds out, let's go. Let's go, seconds out.
Emmanuel, why is Theo Torrance telling Duncan Dokiwari to pace himself? He's got a cut growing on his eye, and he needs to land hard punches to win the fight.
Yeah, he's probably still worried about the stamina of Dokiwari, which is really the biggest reason that Guinn has been favored, is because of the stamina factor. So he's probably wanting to slow down and just try to box easily and save himself for the later rounds. Maybe Theo is convinced that he can't knock this kid out like they anticipated earlier.
Dokiwari landed a couple of jabs and a right hand to begin the round. Since then, Guinn has come back with a left hook. There's a good hard body shot by Dokiwari. Right hand upstairs, partially blocked, but look at him coming back with combinations.
I'm very impressed with Dominick Guinn's ability to take a punch.
And I'm impressed with Duncan Dokiwari's effort. And Guinn just took a huge shot And an uppercut. And Guinn has his back to us, so it's hard for us to tell how well he took those punches, but his feet are still moving.
I'm quite sure he's felt them. They look good, but I have not saw him really wiggle or stagger yet.
He's certainly not taking the advice of his corner to be conservative in this round.
Nope, as well as Guinn is not taking advice of his corner, who's told him to come right at.
And ultimately, it's just advice, and the fighter has to sense what's going on there and use his own experience and his feelings about what he can accomplish.
Well, as good a trainer as Thel Torrance is, I vote for what Dokiwari's doing. I think he needs to keep applying pressure and stepping up his effort.
And in the other corner, Guinn was told to come out and be more aggressive, but you know, it's running into a big, strong, powerful man like that is much easier to say than to do. And as soon as you get in range, Dokiwari starts shooting punches. He doesn't hesitate.
There's a right and a left by Guinn. And now Guinn has hurt Dokiwari and wants to come forward.
The clean-up left hook, the left hook following the right hand. It's a punch that you don't see.
Dominick Guinn has a good left hook. Dokiwari is wobbling. He could go. Lands a right hand.
But I give Dokiwari credit. He does know how to clinch, something that a lot of modern-day fighters don't do.
Long amateur career.
Yes, he knows how to clinch and not just back up and rope a dope.
Dokiwari seems hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Guinn's greater quickness is coming to the fore now. He's able to throw and land before Dokiwari can get set.
Stop, no punches, step back.
Good left hook to the body by Guinn. Dokiwari trying to get his legs back.
The cut is bothering him a lot, too. I don't think he's probably experienced at being cut. But you can never relax with this guy because he's still shooting a lot of power punches. He's a big name.
10 seconds.
This has been the single most decisive round of the fight.
And it started off with Dokiwari landing a good punch or two and an uppercut and having Guinn hurt, and it ended up with him getting hurt himself.
Shows you the competitiveness of Dominick Guinn.
What's wrong with you?
Seems to like to fight.
What's wrong with you? Anything wrong with you?
Very cool and calm and collected guy.
Let him go. Get him out of there. The man is
You're in the
dead.
6th round. You understand? You got this man. Now, this man, you got the man. All you got to do is jump on top of him and throw punches. Every time you hit him, you hurt him.
Don't fall on him.
But you're sitting there.
Right in front of the face, okay? Okay? And I want you good loose with these shots. Stop him.
Hold over.
Look here.
That's the right hand that Dokiwari landed.
And the uppercut that followed it.
Oh, Guinn's got a pretty good beard.
That's what I say. I've been very impressed with his beard tonight.
Guinn says that in the past, his problem has been getting lazy in a fight. He has been very awake in this one.
But Ronnie Shields is beginning to feel a sense of urgency again, and you heard him between rounds yelling at Guinn to go jump on Dokiwari, throw punches, and get him out of there. And you understand Shields' apprehension. The more time you spend in front of a giant like Dokiwari, the more chance you have of getting caught with a big right hand.
Yeah, he's still a very dangerous man.
Stop, no punches, stop.
CompuBox totals through 5 are interesting just because Dokiwari's landed 66 out of 303. Guinn 67 out of 187. That's the efficiency of Dominick Guinn. Good left hook to the body. Right cross upstairs. Dokiwari's hurt again.
I think the blood is bothering him just as much as the punches are.
Yep. Shaking his head as if to try to get the blood out of his eye.
Folks, this is a serious, quality heavyweight prize fight.
This is the kind of fight that contenders fight in the heavyweight division. Neither one of these guys is a serious title contender yet. Both would like to be. Guinn again with that good left hook right to the middle of the chest.
He's a very intelligent fighter. Picks his punches very carefully, very economical, but very accurate.
Watch your heads, watch your heads. Stop! No punches. Let's go. Step back.
Guinn turns momentarily to hear what Mark Breland and Ronnie Shields are yelling at him from the corner. Probably they're yelling, "Go knock him out."
Well, this is the way that the fight was planned from Dominick's viewpoint. He wanted to wait until Dokiwari got tired. But even though he's maybe slowing down a little bit, he's still punching with a lot of power.
The thing about it is he didn't wait for Duncan Warrior to get tired. He punched him enough to help him get tired.
Left hook just barely missed Dokiwari.
Good right hand by Dokiwari. Caught him right on the break. And once again, Guinn takes it pretty well. You know, it's easy enough for Ronnie Shields to say, go in and knock the man out. But, of course, Guinn is the one who knows how dangerous Dokiwari still is.
Yes, he can feel it.
Step back. Step back.
The welt under the left eye of Guinn.
From Dokiwari's right hands.
Give him around the way, man. Give him some. Man out hustling in the inside. You understand? Man is tired. Okay. This man is tired, man. You down, you're not tired, man. No. You understand? Look. You understand? Look. Down. This is your job. Take care of your family, man. You understand? Yes, sir. This is your job. This is what you have to do. You have to get in there.
Watching. You understand that? Look, your mother's watching you. Come on.
You only have 3 rounds left. 4 rounds left. 7, 8, 9, and 10. You understand? We need these rounds. We got to have these rounds, man. But you got to punch, down. Just down.
Don't let your mother down.
Let both hands go now. Every time you hit this man, you're hurting. Both hands got to go.
Come on, baby. You can do it.
Left hook right there by Guinn. But the main thing is, I think that the eyes are bothering him tremendously.
Santa waiting for everybody to get out of the ring before round 7 begins. You heard the reference to Guinn's family between rounds. He's married and the father of 4, the most recent, a daughter born August 9 named Kamari. Dokiwari lands a jab. Guinn comes back with a body shot. Harold, how do you have it coming to this round?
Okay, Jim. 57-57, 3 rounds apiece. I thought Duncan Dokiwari pulled that round 6 with that tremendous right hand. I got it all even. But I got to tell you something, Jim. Duncan Dokiwari is a big guy. These big guys tire very, very badly in the late rounds. He lays out Dominick Guinn and holds him. Santa's got to pull him apart real quick, or this fight's going to get slow as heck, and he should take points away for holding.
I have it 3-2-1 for Guinn.
Well, I'm impressed with both of the fighters.
Right now, yes, Manuel, you'd say, I want to see both of these guys again.
Yes, I do. They're punching very accurate. They both have taken good punches or came back. Just a good, solid heavyweight fight.
Well, it's fascinating that Larry and Harold both scoring the fight. Both have Dokiwari in it, competitive, with a chance to win it. Almost nobody would have given Dokiwari a chance to get a decision over Dominick Guinn. The feeling was that Dokiwari would have to knock Guinn out. So this is a better than expected effort from the Nigerian fighter, and about as good as we might have expected from the rapidly improving, very good already, Dominick Guinn.
You know, when I mentioned to some boxing people that Duncan Warrior says he split 4 fights with Ikabeabuchi, they were skeptical. But watching this, you can imagine in a short amateur fight, he could be competitive with anybody.
Yeah, and even at this stage, he's still fighting a very competitive fight. Even though it's slowing down some and he's getting hit with punches, still fighting a very good fight. And very
good body shot by Dokiwari after he ate an uppercut and a left hook for Guinn. Dokiwari pounds Guinn into the corner. Guinn gets him with a giant left hook, and Dokiwari is badly hurt. Pulling at his eye, leaning on Guinn to try to get his legs back.
He knows how to smother guy once he gets hurt.
That was almost a knockout shot by Guinn with the left hook, and now Dokiwari is holding on for dear life. Dominick Guinn's got a chance to get him out of there right now.
With half a minute to go in the round.
Step back, let's go. Step back. Step back.
See if Dokiwari's survival skills are still in order.
Guinn is picking his punches very accurate right here.
Look at the bravery of Dokiwari. He's blinking with the right eye. It's bothering him. He's pouring blood out of the left eye, and he's still coming forward and trying to land punches.
10 seconds.
Very intelligent. Guinn can see that Dokiwari's having trouble with his eyes. Hammers him with a jab before just missing with a right that would have knocked him out and landing a huge left hook.
Well, the way it's going right now, it's very, very much looking like Dominick Guinn has got a good victory, but he's still a very dangerous opponent in front of him that he's got to.
What city is this? Tell me. Okay. How you feeling?
Good.
You with me?
Good.
With it. Close your eyes.
Okay. Get inside. When you get to the ring, keep that right hand up. When you get inside, I want you to cross some guards inside with your head down and dig that left hook to the body, okay?
That's right, okay? You can see? You can see.
Yeah. Together now.
Make it a dog
I need
fight.
both hands working now.
You gotta make it a dog
Okay?
fight. Get on.
Right hands and left hook.
There's another one of those short left hooks by Dominick Guinn, which is his best punch, especially when you get in close. And being a small heavyweight, he's very good in landing that punch, which is a very effective punch for him because most of those big guys don't protect themselves once they get too close.
If they had been standing in the center of the ring, Dokiwari might have gone down from that left hook. Oh, look at the uppercut that Duncan lands to drive Guinn back again.
Stop! No punches.
Dokiwari's right eye is closing and his left eye is cut. It's not a good sitch.
No.
And his hair is standing on end.
Stop! No punches.
He's got 3 more very long, dangerous rounds with a very sharp, accurate punching young heavyweight.
Emmanuel, I think of the heavyweight's left hook as the American punch.
Well, it's turning out to be in particular for Dominick Guinn.
Stop! No punches. No punches.
Well, so many heavyweights throw 1-2, but don't come back with the left hook. I mean, Lennox Lewis was deficient until the middle of his career when he got Emmanuel Stewart and finally started learning how to throw left hooks.
And the left hook following the right hand is the most dangerous punch in boxing because you never see that the way the body position goes.
One of the reasons that so many of us were in love with Vladimir Klitschko as an offensive fighter is he has a beautiful, well-developed left hook.
Yes, which I used to say he didn't have, but he knocked out one of the guys just as I said he didn't have a left hook. Which is unusual for most European fighters because they like to pow, throw the right hand and pow with the jab, throw the right hand.
But Guinn has a terrific left hook.
He's a pretty very balanced out, but I've been so impressed with his ability to take a punch. And he's just so cool and relaxed and calm.
Good jab, knows when to use it.
Yes, well, that's sort of good amateur background.
Step back.
And he jab, and then he'll start working something off of the jab at a moment.
Watch your hands, watch your hands.
See that now he's starting to hook. He's moving his body motion like he's going to jab, and instead he shot a left hook.
Very professional performance by Dominick Guinn.
And the physical handicaps of Dokiwari has really bothered him a lot now. But you know what? He's never quit punching.
Dokiwari reminds me here of Vitaly Klitschko against Lennox Lewis. He's winning fans while probably losing a fight.
The way these two guys are fighting, I put both of them in the top 15, you know, ready to move into the top 10.
I would agree with you.
If I were the ring doctor, I would have to give serious consideration to stopping this fight based on Duncan Dokiwari's vision problems.
Yeah, both of his eyes are right now handicapped.
And I hear referee, or I can see the referee Jim Santa is listening to us as we say that.
Okay. Push with the jab. You don't let him lay on you. The savior is where you let him lay on. When you hit him with a shot, you don't get the other shot. You hurt him, but you don't go back at him again. You got to follow up when you hit him with a shot. Okay. That's right, you can see.
Now, you understand? Your back is in the corner, son. Your back is in the corner. This is your career. This is going to set your ass back if you don't get out there and you knock this guy out. You got to knock this guy out. You got 2 rounds to do it. That's all I can tell you.
Out. Go. Come on, go. Get the butt.
Ronnie Shields has done an excellent job of motivating Guinn and training to be less passive, to try to take control. There's a prize on the table here tonight, and he is trying to take it.
Stop! No punches. Let's go. Step back.
What do you think about Ronnie Shields asking Guinn to keep forcing toward the knockout against a guy who appears probably beaten at this point by boxing skill?
Yes, it's kind of dangerous when you look at that. Acker is still a big, powerful man, and he's punching with full power. He's not like a guy that's gotten tired and weakened up in his punching power. He's punching with full force. I would probably in this case should have him to try to box a little bit more.
I'm not sure I would. Yeah.
Power punches every once in a while and changing directions a lot, but I wouldn't have him going straight into that power.
Better feet, better boxer.
Yeah, that's what I'd have moving and jabbing.
Ought to be easy from here.
Oh yeah.
But for all of his strength and size and musculature, I don't see that Dokiwari is a big puncher.
I think he's a puncher. I just think that Dominick Guinn has a tremendous chin. I mean, the punches he's been shooting are straight right hands and uppercuts. I think Guinn has just got a tremendous chin.
Dominick Guinn is punishing Duncan Dokiwari with those right hands.
Very systematically and very professional.
Is Guinn going to be able to compete with some of the super heavyweights we have out there?
Well, from what I can see, his ability to take a punch, which I assume, I would have to say Dokiwari is still one of the bigger guys who still has good coordination. Yes, I think Guinn will be able to do that.
But Guinn weighs 218 and a half.
That's why I wish they had the second heavyweight division.
30 pounds away from Lennox Lewis and Vitaly Klitschko and company, and it's a real obstacle.
Yeah, and you know, years back when guys got that big, they was uncoordinated, but now you got these big guys with great coordination.
Dokiwari's right eye seems close to closing.
Go, look up. Stop. No punches.
Left eye still bloody.
Still bleeding.
Heart still beating. Loud. Oh, big left hook by Guinn. Dokiwari badly hurt again. Trying to make it out of the 9th round, give himself 3 more minutes to hope to score a bailout knockout.
Okay. Okay, listen.
Last round.
Okay.
Last round. Come on. When you train like a dog, you're in dog shape. If you throw 4 punches at this guy's gone, Duncan. But you got to do it on.
They're waiting on 1 shot now. You understand? We're telling you, you got to throw 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punches. You understand? That's the way you win the fight. You can't sit here and think I'm gonna hit him in 1 shot now. You got to go both hands. You got to just go. It's an all-out amateur fight right now. Take that as that.
So we'll hook to the body, up the center, okay?
Last round, okay? Okay. Come on, let's go. Out.
During the course of this fight, Jim Strickland has used 3 different types of coagulants, and none of them have been successful in stopping the flow of blood. The last one he's been using is Abatine, which is a powder supposed to use, and that still has not been successful in stopping the flow of blood.
Last round, no.
If it's true, in fact, that Dokiwari's never been cut in professional competition, he showed a lot of courage in making it through this fight tonight.
Yeah, I've been very impressed.
Badly compromised. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim. 87, 84, 6 rounds to 3. Dominick Guinn. Jim, I tell you, he's won the last 3 rounds in a row. It's the speedy combinations. Duncan Dokiwari holding just like he's doing right now. The guy's tired. He's beat up. Dominick Guinn on real good right hands, just like you saw right in the first second.
Great right hand lead right there, which is a very effective punch in the late rounds when the guy's tired.
Smart fighter. Smart fighter, Dominick Guinn.
And Guinn also has some snap in his punches after
yes.
late stage.
Great punching power. Good point you mentioned out there. Good punching power for late in the fight for a young fighter too. In fact, both guys have good punching power. Usually when guys get tired, it's not that much punching power, but both of these guys are punching the same as they was punching earlier in the fight.
You know, Guinn at 218.5 with that left hook is comparable to Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, it's maybe even pound for pound a little better puncher possibly. Evander put things together so good and could maintain balance while he could shoot 10, 15 punches and have unbelievable balance out while he's punching. That was one of his great assets. It was a much busier fighter than Guinn. But Guinn may be, for just individual punching power, a better puncher than Evander. But whether he can be as great as Evander Holyfield is a different thing.
Another lights out left hook by Guinn, and Dokiwari leans in and grabs him to buy a few more seconds.
Cut back, Rose.
If this fight goes the way we see it, Guinn could emerge as the best of the young or new American heavyweights.
Especially when you consider the competition that he's in there with. And he's been hit good himself tonight. And has taken everything and came back. Fought a very, very intelligent fight.
Just a brilliant exhibition of professional boxing skill down the stretch of this fight by Dominick Guinn. The choices he makes, the times at which he makes them. This is a pro.
For a young kid, just only had a few fights. It's a very impressive fight.
22-0, 17 knockouts as a pro. This will be the 23rd straight win if it goes as we expect it to. And Dominick Guinn still hunting for that knockout as the bell for the 10th round sounds. Very good fight.
Trying to close the show. Make an impression, and I think he has.
Both fighters probably will rise in the estimation of ringsiders off of this one.
Well, they both tried to finish up strong, at least Dominick in particular, rather than lay back and coast like we had last week when we had the fight with Bird and Okenda, where Okenda seemingly coasted after he thought he was ahead on points.
Guinn sealed the deal, landing 16 power punches in the 10th round. A lot of them were power punches, as opposed to only 4 for Dokiwari. There's the final Letterman card. Guinn winning by winning the last 4 rounds in a row. Where have we seen that before?
If you go back and you look at that tape, go back and look at that tape, it'll kick yourself in the butt. Yeah. I know I will. You work hard. You work too hard to not knock your man out.
Ronnie Shields still trying to get Guinn to knock Dokiwari out.
Hot Springs, Arkansas.
It's a little late.
I'd like to thank everybody that prayed for me. Thank you. Mike King, Q-Bar Hurts, Shake Him Down, my sister, my wife, the kids, everybody, Shelley Finkel, Main Events, HBO, I'd like to thank you for inviting me here, invite me back. I'd like to thank everybody in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and the whole Arkansan for praying for me and continue watching out for us. Thank you. God bless. Hold on to the man upstairs.
All right, now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds, we go to the scorecards. John McKay scores at 97-93. Don Ackerman, 98-92. Steve Weisfeld, 97-93. All to the winner by unanimous decision, Dominick, the Southern Disaster, Guinn.
Well, don't look now, but we got one right. Or at least we're in concert with the official judges. It's not necessarily the same thing. Dominick Guinn. And here's a CompuBox profile of punches landed and thrown in the fight. A lot of these were big impact punches. And Dokiwari was the one who threw 132 more punches by CompuBox count, but Guinn landed 29 more, landing at 34% connect percentage. Power punches. You can see that Dokiwari did his best, trying to knock out Dominick Guinn and win the fight. And Guinn measured him, took advantage of the opportunity to land clean shots and landed plenty, busting up Dokiwari with those 86 punches landed there. So now mark your calendars. October 23 on HBO Latino. Catch the next installment of Oscar de la Hoya presents Boxeo de Oro. November 1, a World Championship boxing doubleheader featuring lightweight champion Floyd Mayweather facing Philip Ndu, and a clash between featherweight title holders Derek Gainer and Juan Manuel Marquez.